Kids are in trouble this holiday season. I just am fresh off an interview with Fox in San Francisco, and I have several other interviews coming up across the country. I'm sort of virtually crisscrossing the country to share an important message. And the message is that the holidays are a tough time for many kids. I mean, we've all heard about the holiday blues and how people could be a little sad or depressed from Thanksgiving or Christmas or New Year's. And we think about things like our New Year's resolutions and did we live up to what we expected? But we often don't think about our children. And it turns out that our kids often have just as hard a time with the holidays as we do. And it may not be so obvious if you don't look for it, but the problem is real. Kids are separated from their friends. They're not at school. They're not around people that they like to spend time with. Kids are taken out of their usual daily routine. And it's true, your kid may complain about going to school or going to their after school activity, but they're used to it. And it's part of a pattern that's expected. And kids are creatures of habit. They're knocked out of that. On top of it, kids feel the stress that we feel. When we're nervous about having old Aunt Annie over or preparing the house for visitors, or if we're worried about things like we can't afford to have a nice Thanksgiving dinner, we can't afford to spend money on Christmas presents, the stress and the fear that we feel bleeds into our children, and they experience that stress all the more. So the holidays are a very difficult time for many, many kids. On top of that, there was just a study that came out from the American Academy of Pediatrics, and they found there was a 60% increase in ER visits for suicidal ideation, meaning the thought or the intention of committing suicide by kids. 60% increase in ER visits. There was also a 60% increase in admissions to the hospital for this. The kids most affected were girls and certainly people that have pre-existing mental health issues or substance abuse issues or existing depression. So kids are having a hard time these days. The holidays probably for many kids make it worse. So I'm begging you, please go out there, pay attention to your children. Ask them, how are they feeling? Go speak to them. Consider getting the advice of a counselor or a professional. Try to give them some exercise so they can get outside and move their bodies and experience nature, which is a great antidepressant for all of us. But most importantly, consider this as an issue, because if you don't look into it, you won't see it. This is Dr. Greg Charlop, and thank you so much, and have a happy holidays.